So hey all, welcome. I'm Dr. Neha Taneja. Now you are all aspirants. Let me ask you a very basic question. That what do you think is more important as an aspirant? Gathering content, reading those contents, or active recall in the exam? So my question to you is that if you have more content, does it mean you have a better preparation? Let's figure that out over this presentation. Okay, let me just try to make something very simple for you. That would you want to gather more and more information, or as an aspirant, would you want to recall that in the exam? Okay, so your score really doesn't depend on how much you consume, guys. It depends on how much you can recall and how much you can apply. Okay, so that's what we're trying to figure out in this presentation. Now, look, when you have a lot of content with you, it might give you a false illusion of preparation that you consume, like let's say you were supposed to study cohort study today, okay, and you studied cohort from everywhere. And then you feel that, oh, I have consumed all the information that is out there and it will be more productive for me. Now give me any question, I will be able to solve it. But what is the real thing over here? That good, you consumed a lot of information. Today you might remember it. But the real question is, would you be able to revise this again when your exams are approaching? Would you be able to recall it? Can you recall and apply it when you're under so much of pressure in the exams? When the questions are continuously flowing in front of you, would you be able to apply this? So, every aspirant is kind of getting caught up in a content loop. More the lectures, more the notes, more the resources, more the PDFs. Collecting PDFs is not going to give you the outcome that you want. The outcome that you want is, if you're appearing for a NEET PG, decent rank. If you're appearing for FMGE, to clear the exam, right? But gathering all the PDFs, will it amount to the success that you're desiring? No. The important thing is that will you be able to give this content and apply it under pressure in your exams, right? There's a lot of FOMO these days, right? You have so many sources, you get caught up in the FOMO. There comes I'll study everything trap. You're preparing well. Imagine you're studying from XYZ source. You're preparing well. Everything is going good. You have strategized your preparation. Everything is running fine for you. You meet one of your seniors or maybe your friend on one particular day, and he or she tells you, listen, there was a question which came from this particular source. What would you do? Would you panic? Which students do? They panic. Said, oh, really? That came from that. So now would you completely put a stop to your preparation and go look for that source and try to get the source and start studying from that source? No. Every extra resource competes with the time you need to revise, guys. Time management is very important. When you're an aspirant, time management matters, guys. The more you get caught up in the FOMO and the more you don't trust yourself and you don't trust your source of preparation, you will get caught up in this loop. Okay? Before you add another resource, you have to ask, do I really need another resource, or do I need another revision? Do I need to read? If somebody told you also, did this question came from this particular resource, did you go back and check your resource once? Have you been thoroughly utilizing the resource that you have? As an aspirant, most important thing is to be able to utilize every detail of the app that you have. You're understanding, every pointer from that should be known to you. Okay? So don't get caught up in this trap. One resource, what is the best thing about one resource? What is the best thing? That you can have multiple revisions. But if you have multiple resources, you'll get all caught up. You'll not be able to revise anything. It would be just like a simple reading. Okay? And if you have so many resources, if you're reading resource A, B, C, everything, you're just learning the same concepts again and again. But if you stick to one resource, you learn your concept from there and start applying that by solving questions. Okay? One resource, be familiar with everything from that resource, its Q banks, everything. Read it, revise it, recall it, repeat it. Okay? You are saving time, and saved time means more attention. Okay? Now see, if you consume more and more content, that is not learning. If you're looking at a 2-hour or 3-hour lecture, will you be able to Will you be able to recall everything? That's what you have to ask yourself. Okay, and revision is where preparation compounds. You need to have one resource, you need to read from that, you need to repetitively revise it and recall it first, because you know there are steps of reading also. It's not like I read once and I'll get it inside my brain. I need to read it again. I need to learn the look at the lecture again. Now, if I have 2-3 resources with me, how many times will I read the same thing and how many lectures am I going to look at? So please remember, first reading is going to give you familiarity. Second and third will help you recall stronger. Okay? And third will help you solve your questions, your MCQs. Okay? So one resource will stick to you revising every time. Okay, your preparation needs to get filtered, not accumulation. Many times, guys, as a teacher also, I have seen, if you ask me that, ma'am, whenever we take a session, ma'am, a PDF, like send out the PDFs, annotated also, unannotated also. Now, okay, but are you doing it with, like, you know, are you collecting the PDF of all the subjects from all the sources? How many PDFs are you going to revise? Okay, so not everything new is important. New PDF, new Telegram discussions, newly launched resources, must read lists. You need to filter out, guys. Filter out is your strategy. Filter out and figure out what's important. Okay, figure out and filter out what's important. That what makes the cut here. That is the real sign of a true aspirant. Sticking to one resources, filtering out, figuring out, continuously repeating and reading the same stuff and applying it, trying to recall it, guys. That is what is most important as an aspirant. Okay? Know what you need to ignore. Replace more with more relevant. Again, like I said, filter out. This will help you in time management, and time is something that we are lacking these days. We have to make the more advantage of time. What you forget, repeatedly try to focus on that. Where you're making your mistakes, high exam relevance, pointers. So one source, keep looking at it, keep revising it, marking it, so that you're able to recall in the exam, guys. Okay, and always solve MCQs. Don't worry about the MCQs. Don't, even if you're getting, like, give yourself short tests, guys. If you are like getting less marks, you never have to be emotional about the marks that you get. Okay, if you get a topic wrong, another lecture is not automatically the answer. You need to figure out where was the mistake. What am I not understanding? What am I not analyzing? Okay, retry it. Try to figure out it with MCQs. That's your reality check. Okay? Measure preparation by recall. You never have to count by hours. You all know quality more important than quantity. Quality more important than quantity. Yes, if you study, let's say 2 hours every day, you have to stick to 2 hours with the maximum output in that. Full dedication, devotion, determinant. If you're studying 10 hours and in between those 10 hours, sometimes you're looking at your phone, you're trying to look at a Telegram group, you're trying to look at YouTube, Instagram, that is not fulfilling the purpose. If you're putting 3 hours of study, you have to put it with full dedication, devotion and determination, guys. Okay, this has to be there. Quantity is never important, quality is. Keep asking yourself, take short tests of yourself. Do you remember? Okay, how many concepts can you recall? How many MCQs can I solve? Did I correct my mistakes? This is where students lack. If you made a mistake last time, you cannot repeat that mistake again. Okay? It doesn't mean that if you're studying 10 hours, you're giving the maximum output. Those 10 hours, you're putting how much of an effort? That is very, very important. Okay, as an aspirant, how are you utilizing those 10 hours? So at the end, I would just like to say there's a better preparation equation, guys, which is strengthen your concepts, do a depth study, revise it. Okay, keep revising it, keep talking about it, keep discussing it with your friends, recall it when you see an MCQ and apply it in MCQs. It takes you further than endlessly increasing your content library. Please don't run after content. Let me collect this PDF, let me collect that PDF. Will you be able to get back to that? No. Do what you'll be able to get back to. Okay? At the end, What is your goal? Is your goal to know everything, to gather all the information? No. Your goal is that out of that information, how much can you apply? So if your information is so much, you won't be able to apply. But if your information is little, but you've constantly looked at it, you've constantly repeated it, revised it, you've looked at MCQs for that, you will be able to remember and recall in your exams. Okay? So finally, what I started in the beginning, that as an aspirant, what is more important, content gathering or applying or in the exam? Of course, to apply in the exam. Your goal isn't, to finish more content. Your goal is to make the right content impossible to forget. Okay, so stick to one source, stick to one, have that faith, and just try to do a constant repetitive revision. You need to do the same thing again and again, and don't get caught up in the trap. I'm sure you'll be able to succeed in your exams. Okay, thank you so much.